So I know everybody is celebrating the downfall of the Acolyte. Well, I don't know about celebrating, but making videos about it, right? Because the Acolyte is dead, and you know what? I have mixed feelings because it was trash. Star Wars, little Star Wars space junk. It was trash. But we've been having fun tearing it to pieces. So sometimes it's not the show so much that we get our enjoyment out of. It's the tearing it to pieces part because it's so dumb that makes it good, right? So I wasn't sure if we were gonna get a second season. I thought they might eke it out because so many people seem to be talking about the Acolyte. So I thought maybe because so many people were talking about it that it might get that false positive because everyone was watching it to know what they were watching, so they could trash it, right? But it turns out that the only people watching it were the people trashing it because the ratings were abysmal, not even close enough to even pretend to want a second season because they canceled it in pretty fast, I think. Pretty fast. But what I want to take a look at here is I just did a quick browsing of it, and I have a few questions to pose at the end about the future of Star Wars and what the Acolyte may have damaged, actually. Not being the number one, source for Legends material or anything. Like, I'm not an expert on all things Star Wars. I know some Star Wars, and I'm a fan of old Star Wars, but I have some questions about what the Acolyte could have damaged here, especially with it only being one season of crap. But first, we're gonna take a parade through the internet real quick, and we're gonna look at what the online access media is saying about the Acolyte because if you actually believed any of the access media or any of the games journalists too, might as well throw them in there, but not on this one. But it's a crushing blow to Star Wars that the Acolyte is dead, which is the exact opposite. It's finally something that makes sense has happened. But let's take a look at some of these. So we got Star Wars fans are losing faith in the franchise after the Acolyte cancellation, and I think Lucasfilm should be concerned. Well, Lucasfilm should have been concerned a long time ago because they've destroyed Star Wars, and Star Wars has been failing for quite some time now. This is sort of just the cherry on top. But I wanted to look at this one because we have a few tweets that are in this one. There goes my enthusiasm for any upcoming Star Wars projects. Why bother getting invested? Well, that's true, sort of, but I don't know who all was really invested in the Acolyte. And most of us aren't really invested in Star Wars anyways because it's already a joke. So we are more just watching a burning ship sink, I think. So welcome to the club. I know you're upset for a different reason because you were highly invested on the Soap Twins story, I guess, which I don't know how you could be, but yeah. So and then we talk. This article talks about how the east you have the remember berries of Yoda, the dangling of Plagueis, and says that seriously watch the first and only season of Acolyte. It's worth your time. It's absolutely not worth your time, but because it's a joke. So, and then Deadline claims that Acolyte was canceled. More accurately, it was just wasn't renewed. No, it was canceled. Can we cut it out? It's the same thing. Stop it. It was canceled. What is that? It wasn't renewed. Canceled. Same thing. Seriously, what are we doing? And the same fate was for Boba Fett. Again, not renewed. Whatever. But I think it was this one that of course, breaking news: Star Wars Acolyte has been canceled just after just one season. Who could have seen this coming? Well, most of us saw it coming. We weren't sure. So I think this is the one that sort of I wanted to look at the most here. The worst part about the Acolyte being canceled isn't the cancellation itself, but knowing exactly which part of the Star Wars fanbase Disney listened to in order to go ahead with this decision. Stop caving to pressure and stand your ground. You've made something bold for once. So that's a complete and utter joke. The Acolyte is terrible. It was like, just open your eyes and watch the show. And it's not what Disney is listening to is the ratings. Like, shows are made for a reason, for ratings, to make money. It's a business. So when you have a show like The Acolyte that is a complete failure on every level, storytelling, CGI, storytelling, everything. It's a complete joke across the board, and nobody watches it, and it generates no money. That has nothing to do with all the people that are watching it going, wow, this is terrible. They've hit a all-time low. That has to do with, they can't afford to just put something out without any sort of, reciprocation. They're not getting any money back. They can't just put $200 million out to make, $20 million. You're going to lose a lot of money. That's not a way to run a business. I don't understand why people don't understand that. It got canceled because it's crap and nobody wanted to see it, and it didn't make any money, and it was never going to make any money, and nobody watched. It has nothing to do with your feelings. It has to do with nobody watched. But so this is it astounds me that it's like, oh, you listen to the when have they listened to us about anything? If they listen to the actual people that want to break down and have good stories and break down stories and go, wow, the plot in this makes no sense. If they listen to us, half the TV that's on right now wouldn't be on, and they'd have new shows coming out that tried to make sense. Half the TV out there is crap. They don't listen to us at all. But of course, wow, they listen to the bad guys for a change. I wish they'd listen to us more. They're starting. Wheel of Time Season 4 is about to be canceled, so there you go. Oh, I'm sorry. Not renewed. I apologize. But before we get to my questions about some of the things that the Acolyte touched on here, I want to go through some headlines real quick, and then something that is extremely funny in my eyes. So we're gonna get so we have the Acolyte is canceled for no season 2 for Disney Plus's series. This was the one I was gonna use, but then I found a better one, so we'll get rid of that. So we have the Acolyte cancellation. Okay, the Acolyte tried something new. Its cancellation doesn't bode well for the future of Star Wars. Leslie Headland's show was flawed, but expanded on what Star Wars could be. Without big swings like that, it's hard to know where Star Wars goes from here. These people haven't watched the show because it did nothing interesting. It wants to pretend it did something interesting. It didn't do anything interesting. Nothing. It didn't show how it is to be a dark side user. It didn't show the Jedi in a bad light. It turns out the Jedi were correct in every single action that they made. All these false headlines and false articles saying that the Acolyte did something that no other Star Wars. No, they said they were going to, and then they didn't. Okay, so the Acolyte was just a bad TV show that pretended to have something interesting to say. It didn't have anything interesting to say at all. At all. Bad choreography, bad storylines, missing plot threads, damaging canon characters. That's what the Acolyte did. All right, moving on. Another title. We have Blame Modern TV for Star Wars, The Acolyte's cancellation. The series was forging new paths and telling different stories in a franchise that often leans too much on nostalgia. Well, they tried to lean on nostalgia for this too, to pull it out of the pit of despair, and it didn't work. It didn't tell any new stories. It didn't. It did not. It told the same. It thinks it did, but it didn't. Here we go. The Acolyte deserved a season 2, and Star Wars will be poorer without it. No, absolutely not. What are you talking about? I'm not. I'm sort of interested what they have to say about that. The Acolyte would have undoubtedly have picked up more viewers discovering it at their own pace. So we're going to renew a what was it, $180 million, $200 million show, because eventually people will figure out that it's on TV. Eventually people will come around and not think that it's utter crap. Yeah, right. A culture force like Star Wars can't afford to be one that lets its fans down. It's not. See, and guess what? this is not letting its fans down. This is actually the first ray of hope probably Star Wars has gotten in a long time. Because guess what? This show deserved to be canceled. This show was stupid, and I, you know, you could take all the woke stuff out of it. Okay, the writing was abysmal. It made no sense. The characters were stupid. The choreography was horrible. If this like. We're in an all-time low right now if we're calling this good, like, or people just forgot what good TV really is. It's one or the other, or people just, you know, or it's just because, you know, we have strong female characters that are the key to everything that make decisions that make no sense. You know, I don't know. I don't know how you can actually watch this and be gripped by the storyline when it makes no sense at all. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. It makes me wonder when the people that are saying that this show was thought-provoking and well written, what happens when they actually do see something that is well written? Do their brains explode because their heads can't take it? Maybe, I don't know. The Acolyte cancellation is a perfect storm of why the current streaming landscape just plain sucks. Really. It's more than just toxic Star Wars fans. There are no toxic Star Wars fans. There's Star Wars fans that care about their property and want their content to be actually thought-provoking and good and gripping and to make sense. That's not what this is. It has nothing to do with toxic Star Wars fans. Okay, the block size. The blocks, whatever. Like, the excuse train has started. Waiting years for new seasons of TV is bad, and I still don't understand why that happens. Streaming isn't a problem, honestly. I mean, it's, you know, I don't, you know, at least not for this show. This show was released episodically. What's that have to do with streaming? Whatever. All right. But we're going to end on the thing that I found the most interesting and funny, okay? Collider has an article. Petition to save the Acolyte already has hundreds of signatures from fans. So you see this and you're like, wow, really? Holy crap. Now this was posted on, when was this posted? This was 14 hours ago, okay? Petition, oh wow, hundreds of signatures from fans. Wow. Man. Maybe there's more fans of the Acolyte than we thought, right? Fans have mobilized support for the canceled Star Wars series, The Acolyte, with a petition garnering 700 signatures in 700 signatures in 24 hours. This is supposed to stop we are touting those as large numbers. The Acolyte has garnered a following for its diverse cast led by... No, it hasn't. Stop it. You're just making shit up. Nobody cares about the High Republic. Leslie Headland had plans for Season 2. Leslie Headland had plans for what Season 2 could entail. The finale left room to explore more stories with Osha, which nobody gave a crap about. Now, why is this the one I want to go out on? Well, because I got the petition up here, and it's now been since August 20th. It is now August 22nd at the time of this recording. They have not even got 5,000 signatures for this piece of crap show. Does that look like an outpouring of fan support to anybody? Can't get over 5,000 signatures. So what is this? This is a sign that Disney has actually done the absolutely correct thing in canceling this show, because nobody cares. Nobody cares. So, but as we leave here, as we finish up this video, okay? My question is this. We had a few things that popped up. One most notably for me is, what now is to become of Darth Plagueis? We have now introduced Darth Plagueis into the new, whatever the hell you want to call this universe of Star Wars. So Star Wars now there's a world, the world of Star Wars in Disney. Darth Plagueis is an actual thing. Do we just forget about it? Do we just pretend? Are we going to decanonize the Acolyte because it was so bad, and we're going to ignore that they tried to throw some interest, try to get some remember Barry freaking I don't know, remember Barry is not the right word, but dangling interest because of a popular character. We threw Yoda in there at the end too. Thankfully, Yoda maybe has escaped. Seems like. I mean, he took a little bit of a blow, but we could just say he was taking a long nap. Maybe Yoda went into hibernation and just came out of his hibernation egg, or whatever. Maybe he was, sipping too many tequilas on Blarthak 8, and was just blackout drunk for a week when all this went down. Sure. Yoda likes to party too. Why not, right? So, so Yoda, I think, has escaped unscathed. But we've introduced Darth Plagueis in this fashion. So where does Star Wars go from there with this character? And my guess is they're just going to ignore it because they have to, unless we're going to start seeing, unless Filoni and Favreau are going to double down, and all of a sudden we're going to see Smilo Ren show up in other Star Wars properties. Because for all the people saying that Favreau and Filoni are the saviors of Star Wars, if they do that, they've already put their stamp of approval on the Acolyte, which is shocking. But if Darth Plagueis and Smilo Ren show up in some function in another show, to make sure that Darth Plagueis is actually on the board for Disney Star Wars, they're doubling down on the Acolyte. So it'll be interesting to see if we see any more Darth Plagueis or any of the characters from this abysmal of a show. Hopefully they're all dead and gone forever. Most of them were dead and gone anyway, so hey, we're okay, right? So what do you think? You happy that the Acolyte is gone? There will be no season 2. Are you disappointed that we're not going to get to make fun of a whole new season of cringe and horrible storytelling? And what do you think is going to happen with the characters that were introduced to try and garner some sort of ratings, like Darth Plagueis and Yoda? Do you think they're just going to forget and make you want to, just forget that they did it and hope that you forget too? It'll be interesting to see, and I'm sure we will hear more somewhere. Maybe this overwhelming petition will make Star Wars quake in their boots to the fact that they can't even get 5,000 signatures. Maybe they'll be like, oh my god, the population of a tiny city, a very tiny city, wants to see the Acolyte. We better renew it. Let's throw another $250 million at it. Be serious, people. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.